What's up guys, this is Chris with Half Chrome, and what I've got here is the world's smallest camera gimbal. This is the Feiyu Pocket 2S. You might wonder why such a product like this. Looks like a pocket camera gimbal deal that you might be familiar with, but it's on a wire here. So I've separated out the camera from the control handle. And when I first got this, I was like, okay, what do I do with this thing? Do I mount this on my wrist? I've got this little strap here. I can put a strap through here. What do I do? Well, turns out there's a couple very interesting use cases. So one thing I'll show you is you can put this with a nice handy magnetic attachment onto a selfie stick. That has a couple different use cases I'll talk about. Of course, I can spool it up and use it as a regular old pocket gimbal also, or I can put it on a helmet. So stay with me guys, I'll be right back to tell you about the Feiyu Pocket 2S. So welcome back guys. Let me tell you a little bit about the Pocket 2S before I get out on the mountain bike and get to work with the selfie stick. So if you've ever used a pocket camera, I think you'll find a lot of the functions very similar to what you're used to. The menu, the functionality, a lot like the other pocket gimbals out there. The Pocket 2S is being released at the same time as the Pocket 2, so Feiyu's second pocket gimbal camera. This one, of course, with the S at the end being very different because of the ability to separate the camera from the handle. The Pocket 2 features 3 controls. It's got a joystick here, it's got a record button, and a power button. They all have different functions at different times, but pretty standard functionality. Has a touchscreen that's a little bit bigger than some smaller pocket gimbals, and I do like that this thing is a little bit easier to hold because it isn't so tiny. With that also comes more battery life, with about 60% more battery life than the competition. Charges with USB-C, and it also has an HDMI output here, which is a very unique feature. I haven't used that, don't plan to, but you could see how it might be useful for some people, depending what they're doing with this. Feiyu really likes that they put some metal in here, so it's got some magnetic features. The main one I'm using here is just to mount the camera itself. That's what holds it on top or on the tripod base. When you're going to use this on a helmet or something, you just thread a strap right through there, and that's going to be super secure as well. But this magnet, pretty strong. Obviously no issues holding it on there, but I probably wouldn't go mountain biking with it like that, but it is really strong. Unlike the competition, this also has a built-in speaker and, more important to me, built-in Wi-Fi, so no extra cost, no extra size and bulk associated with getting Wi-Fi connectivity to your phone. You can use your phone obviously to transfer files and also to control the gimbal and use a lot of the same features that are built into this relatively large touchscreen. One area where this stands out compared to the competition is in the field of view. So 130-degree field of view, which makes it more like a GoPro in wide mode than a typical pocket gimbal camera. A lot of the competition hanging around 90 degrees, for example. So there's the good and the bad that comes with this. Ultimately, it makes it a little easier to vlog with. You don't have to have it so far from you. Arm doesn't get as tired, but with that comes a little distortion. What I really like about it is for action sports, it is a better wide angle field of view, so I really see that, for me at least, as being a primary benefit of that wider field of view. I also really like that the camera is so tiny and lightweight. When I'm putting this on my helmet, it's lighter than a GoPro, so you're not really even going to notice it's up there. One key accessory this comes with is a strap mountable holder for the handle. You'll see me use this outside on the bike in just a second. Also comes with this tripod mountable magnetic base. Pretty simple, it just magnetically snaps onto the bottom of the camera. Also comes with a little bag for the camera, a couple of straps that are going to help you mount it to things, and you're pretty much good to go. The only thing I had to do to get this thing going was one of the straps, I needed a shorter one in order to mount it to the strap of my backpack. So you might want to pick up a pack of extra straps in a variety of lengths if you don't have them already. I'll put a link in the description to a pack like that I bought on Amazon. Okay, so now you know how the camera works and what its basic features are and standout features. Let's get this thing outside. I'm going to start off first at the beach. So I went to visit my family in New Jersey. Despite the reputation New Jersey actually has some beautiful beaches. So I hung out with some friends, chased the kids around a little bit with the gimbal, and did some interesting things that I couldn't do with a standard pocket gimbal. So one thing is, I got it up on the old selfie stick and used it to get some interesting shots. So, you know, this is like an arm, but a lot longer. And let me do some interesting shots, starting low, moving high, or just getting some shots from down low, feet and kids playing in the sand, for example, without having to bend over and break my back. So I can still see what's going on the screen without needing my cell phone, Wi-Fi connected, anything like that, but get the camera much lower. So I did like using the selfie stick for that. This style of selfie stick also has this ability to bend over the tripod mount 90 degrees, and this is where it's convenient for selfie mode. I found putting it in follow mode was perfect for this. Once I use the joystick to adjust the camera angle, just moving this up and down is going to naturally tend to stay on your face without needing the face tracking, which isn't always going to be perfect. Final thing I did with this is I did a little inception mode, kind of spinning this guy around a little bit. Now there is no actual inception mode, so it's all about how smooth you're able to do it, but you can still play around and try to have some fun with it. For that, I put it in all follow mode, which just smooths out any shake you have, but still the gimbal tries to follow whatever you do. If I want to do real inception, I'm going to put my camera, my big camera, on this thing, which is my favorite gimbal, also from Feiyu. So that's about what you can do with the selfie stick. Now let's get outside on the mountain bike, where I mounted the camera on top of my helmet and had some fun. Let's do this. Oh. Try that again. Live in Illinois now, so don't have the same kind of mountains I had when I lived in Arizona. So I just did a couple laps around the backyard. One thing I was worried about was getting this cable all hung up on things, so I made sure I ran past some trees. Initially I was thinking I'd be having this pocket in my pocket. Didn't do that. The cord, despite being really long, it's like 4 feet long or something, isn't long enough for that. So I ended up putting this here, which is ultimately better. The cable stuck close around my neck and head area and didn't give me any issues with it getting snagged on any branches. Ultimately, I was much more comfortable with it than I thought I was going to be, and I got really good results. The first lap I did was in pan follow. So in that mode, the camera is going to stick with whatever angle you set it with in terms of pitch, but it's going to pan around, which is the yaw degree of freedom, and follow you, but smooth out that pan. Now I found that to be my preferred mode for the mountain bike. I also did a lap in all follow mode, which is going to behave a little bit more like a GoPro, where it just tries to smooth out the footage and the shake. Ultimately, I didn't like that as much just because I found it was just kind of like a GoPro. Wasn't as smooth, maybe a little nauseating. It tracks your head, and your head isn't always just leaning with your turn. Sometimes I'm clearing branches, stuff like that. So just found it just not what I liked. So I like the pan follow mode ultimately the best. You know where it's going to be looking. You just got really good results. Also took this thing to a 4th of July party here in the US. That's our Independence Day if you're watching overseas. So big party. Took it to my brother-in-law's fireworks show, and here you can see him throwing a ball in slow-mo. So pretty cool stuff. Like any camera, including your cell phone that you're going to get with slow-mo, you can get some really cool shots with it. The video quality tends to be very good. My favorite is 4K 30. Of course, you're using the 120 megabits per second to its max there. Anytime you're going to slow down the footage a lot or get a really higher frame rate, you will see a little bit of compression artifacts like you would with any camera. Ultimately though, I think these slow-mo shots do look really good. You can see this other one of me getting my son throwing a ball and a little bit of B-roll showing how I'm doing that. Just getting a little more nimble, not using the selfie stick, but getting the camera a little closer to the ground while seeing what I'm doing on the handle. Ultimately, I am really happy with the 4K footage I'm getting out of this thing. I do like it a lot more than my GoPro, which really did surprise me. I think this really has a place for people looking to get action camera footage from their helmet in particular. You could also mount this on your handlebars if you're a biker, but I think the helmet is just the place, right? You could also imagine trying to mount it here. That's a place I've tried to mount gimbals in the past with little success. Had the GoPro gimbal there a couple of years ago mountain biking. It's just clunky, it's in the way, causes problems. This thing's so small, it really belongs up on the helmet in my opinion. And I was really happy with it. So I do find this to be a very compelling product, something you should consider for sure. I do have to mention a couple things about it that weren't my favorite. First, the face tracking capability isn't quite there to match the competition yet. Now, I'm getting this model before it's released, so hoping there's always those opportunities for the software features to improve with a subsequent firmware update. Also, I found the microphone sensitivity to be a little low for my liking, so it's not ideal for vlogging. Hold up, a quick update now on those last two comments. So Feiyu just got back to us and said they will be soon releasing a external microphone adapter, which should really allow you to get really great audio out of this, kind of invalidating one of those last two comments there. Not only that, but they've already given us a firmware update with a whole suite of improvements. So now I've got to go try those and see how much better this camera has already gotten. Okay, back to your previously scheduled presentation. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the review of the Feiyu Pocket 2S. I like this thing more than I thought I would. I think it definitely has a place. And if the detachable wire setup isn't for you, you should also take a look at the Pocket 2 without the S. Make sure you check out the links in the description. Clicking those links helps us out and it doesn't cost you anything. If you're interested in buying this product or any of the accessories I've got down there, or some of our favorite other products. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check us out at halfchrome.com. I'll see you guys next time.